Okay, so this is our coaching boot camp for January. And I really hope, because listen, this is my very first time doing a boot camp. So I need feedback too, because it's only how we grow as coaches. So here's something else that you guys need to hear as a coach. Even though you're sitting in your house alone, you're not alone in this business. There are hundreds, 400,000 people, I think, are in the network sitting in their home doing the same exact thing, feeling the same exact feelings, wondering the same exact thoughts, and doubting the same things and having fear. So, number one, this is what my therapist taught me a long time ago with any situation. You're not the only one. You're not that special. And I was like, oh, damn. But it's true. And it actually lightened it up a little bit when I got like really heavy and thick into like my own thoughts. She's like, you're not the only one, Stace. You're not that special. And I was like, well, I thought I was, but thanks for that. Cool. Here's your money. Have a nice day. And then you just go about your day. So one thing I want to know is, okay, information comes at you in a group, right? It's overwhelming as hell. You're like, oh my God, I can't keep up. I got to go to work. I got to do that. And what do I keep saying to you guys? I'm going to keep repeating some words. Calm down. I'm going to say calm down, slow and steady, rhythm, keep your foot on the gas. That's all that it means. Like literally, a lot of coaches don't get started because it's fear-based. Just like nutrition, they don't even begin. And what happens is they're so excited and a lot of people go ghost right away. You'll never see them. And this will happen when you get people doing challenge packs. You'll get someone who signs up and then all of a sudden, you don't hear from them. You don't see them. You reach out to them and they flat out ignore you. Okay. So I have to always remind people of this. When we point the finger like this, there's always three pointing back at us, meaning it's not, well, in this situation, it's not about us. It really is about them. They are afraid of failure and they're afraid of admitting it. They're afraid that whatever it is, they've done wrong. Okay. And we just have to keep being that force, that nature of like, hey, it's cool. Hey, it's all right. Hey, no big deal. Let's jump back in. Maybe just try drinking your shake once a week. People need hand holding. They really do. And our job is to hold their hand until they feel so confident that we can just go, okay, like they've got this. They've got this. So it's all about love. So I brought Demetria in here because she is really good with words. She is my coach, if you guys don't know. We are friends since high school. So we've known each other forever, okay? And we have a really good history. So the cool thing is with Demetria is she's been a veteran coach for a long time. She jumped into this by herself. She went to her first coach summit by herself. You know, she was scared out of her mind too, right? And she did a lot of this on her own, like by herself. But what is really cool is that she kept going with her gut, okay? You know, remember I keep telling you guys that silent whisper that keeps talking to you, that gentle little thing that just says, go work out, go be a coach, eat right. Like, that's what you have to listen to, and that's what we do as coaches. We listen to our whispers as much as we can, but then here's the funny part. We don't listen to doing the work behaviors about being a coach. We're afraid. We're so afraid to invite. Because all of a sudden, now because you're a coach, your fear is, I don't want to sell people anything. But let me tell you this. Here's a story, and then we'll jump into we'll do some like back and forth here, Demetria and I, so you guys can kind of get a feel for it. The training here is really vital. If you are absolutely petrified to invite, then you have to learn this packet. You have to learn setting up your posts. You have to learn, what are you talking about? I love every Sunday morning when I wake up, I will light a candle and I will say to myself, what am I going to teach my classroom this week? Because Facebook to me is a classroom, okay? It's not like it used to be like every once in a while, like, oh, I'm going to post a picture of, you know, whatever. I didn't think of the times. I didn't think of what I was saying, or I didn't care how many people liked it. Like, it was none of that. But then it switched to a business mentality. So it was a hard shift because I'm like, well, what if people don't like me? And what if I say the wrong thing? And what if people unfriend me? something that I learned quite a long time ago, and it takes practice, is if they don't like you, they're not your tribe, they're not your people. And the blessing is, I can bet everybody here, because we're all like-minded, you've cared way too much about having everybody like you, having everybody be, I love Stacy because she's so nice, but you're going to ruffle feathers. You're not going to be everybody's people. And how could you be friends with so many people? It's literally impossible. You don't want to. You want to be friends with people who you vibe with, who you just talk with, where it's just super effortless. Like if I go up to Demetria, I'm like, hey, oh my God, you got to check out Passion Nails. It's freaking awesome. I don't feel nervous about telling her about Passion Nails because I have a relationship with her. And I found that through our posting. I found that, oh, she's a mom. Oh, she stays at home. I stay at home part-time. She's a full-time mom, but we still have that connection. Oh, she's married. I'm married, right? Oh, we both like 80s music. Oh, cool. Like you start to find these things, but that's where you form the relationship. If Demetria was a person who was, I don't know, all into like heavy metal for me and drinking all day long, and she's posting all this like sadness all the time, like that's not my tribe. Why would I go and keep talking to her? It would feel like a forced conversation. And then I'm just trying to force something that isn't really there. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? So I think the first thing in inviting is you got to work on your posts. That's like number one. If you don't even post, you don't even have a chance to have a conversation with somebody. So the posting is like really, really, really key. So I always tell people, like, look, in the beginning of your career, you have to look at your map and go, okay, maybe the first 2 weeks, the first month is not about inviting. Maybe the first month for me is to practice my posting, like to build that trust, to build that credibility, to just have conversation. So I just start feeling comfortable in it, right? And that's like maybe step number one. Maybe you don't even invite for a month. That's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes we come in here and all of a sudden we go, okay, well, she's showing me this and now I have to do this. Now I have to do that. It's not that. These are the behaviors that make the business run. And in the beginning, it's your job just to make sure you can check off as much as you can and as much as you're comfortable with, and then build off of that. Demetria, what do you have to, like, can you follow up on that a little bit? Because you're good at that.
Yes. So I love that. I love the build, because it's funny. We just got off our accountability team call and I talked about building off of the fundamentals, but everybody comes into the business at a different place. And if you have been attracted to this tribe, I can tell you something about yourself without even knowing you. You're a perfectionist. You need to cut that out. And you are somebody who's afraid of what other people think. You can't be. But to get to that point, it's not just that I say, you can't be afraid, and then suddenly you're not going to be fearful. That doesn't work. What's going to happen is, like Stacy said, you're going to build on where you're at. So you're not going to go, oh my gosh, here's all these tools. I have to do everything. I have to dot all my I's and cross all my T's. You will get there. You just have to start with your fitness journey always. That's always number one. So if you're going to check anything off of that to-do list, it's going to be, I drank my shake and I did my workout and I did my personal development. Then you're going to say, okay, let me post and start having conversations with people. And those first people in your first few months, they're all going to be your warm market. And warm market is going to be your family, your friends, people who you already have some level of a relationship or trust with. Mm-hmm. Then after that, you're going to say, okay, those are your practice people. Those are the people that they don't care if you said something stupid or, you think it's stupid or whatever. They don't even care. They're just people in your life that you're talking about this too. And then you build it, like Stacy said. So I really don't have anything extra to say other than don't think that coming in, I'm a veteran coach. Stacy is now a veteran coach. You can't come in thinking that Stacy took time to build this system, took time to find her rhythm, took time to find her flow and how she wants to do things. She does some things very similar to me and some things she does very different from me because she had to practice and find that. So you need to give yourself the freedom to trust the process and be coachable, but do it at your pace. It's so important not to rush your business. And rushing your business doesn't mean, just like, this is what I have to say. Just like when you do a program, there's the modifier, and sometimes you can't even keep up with the modifier. You can't look at the modifier and say, oh my gosh, I guess this isn't the program for me because I can't even keep up with the modifier. No, you show up every day and you work on it and you build on it. And then you get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm keeping up with the modifier. And then maybe at some point down the line, you're keeping up with Shaun T. I doubt it. But at some point you're keeping up with Shaun T. Dying. But you have to do your pace. The thing is, you have to do it. That's where everybody thinks that, if I can't do it that way, then I'm not going to be successful. Incorrect every single time. You have to do it. So that's what I have to say.
And you know what else you're making me think of this too? Here's the other thing about this business. You're going to feel, let me just say it right now, and you better write it down, because seriously, put a sticky note, you might get a tattoo on it. You're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel knocked down. You're going to feel like it's not working. So just be ready for that. But here's the part that's cool about coaching. And here's the part that why, in all honesty, every single person that comes in and buys a challenge pack, in my personal opinion, should be a coach. Because you know why? Here's why. And this is where my passion comes in, and I haven't even had freaking Energize yet. It is because, I'm serious, it is because of this. How many times have you struggled in your life and never had one constant thing? Stay your constant. Stay your source of connection. Stay your I'm going to fight. Stay all, like, just be that one thing, that one freaking thing. And these people come in all the time. They're like, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this, it didn't work. You know what doesn't work? You don't work. This is where I drop the truth bombs, because every time you look into the mirror, you are the one that you keep missing the boat on every time. And it doesn't, it like almost makes me angry that I did that for so long. You know what I mean? It was like, let me find the next self-help book because that's what's going to make it better. And let me find the next person to talk to about my problems because they are going to have the answers. This business teaches you, if nothing else, you have the answers, you have the power, you are victorious, period, over and out. And I'll tell you what, that's why everybody should be a coach. Seriously. I mean, amen all day long. And when you get tried in this business, you're going to hear, remember I keep telling you, you're going to hear no, you're going to hear no, you're going to hear no. And let me just tell you something. Amanda I always say, this is really bad. I say Boner, which is really bad. It's Bonner. It's like Regina Wong from elementary school, the guy with the apprentice. Is Regina Wong here, the substitute teacher? And we're like, oh no, wrong, right? But she left me a voicemail the other day, and I was at work, and I am kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch. I've had some emotional things with some family members and my dog. But I have to tell you, here's why, another reason why I love the business, and we're totally not on topic right now, but this is what happens with us. We just feel and we start talking, is that it keeps me to stay focused on me. I allowed myself to feel. I posted publicly how I felt. It made me purge and feel better. I got love and support every time. Nobody thinks you're crap. Nobody thinks you're a salesperson. Let it go. Like, as soon as you can, let it go as fast as you can. But how you do it is just keep putting yourself out there. That's the only trick I got for you. But it's like, I lost my train of thought. It was just like, let yourself be. Like, I still take care of my Shakeology. I still worked out at 9-10 p.m. because I knew I had all these extra emotions in my body. Guys, my dad had a grand mal seizure. I suffered from depression and anxiety. Why would I not do these things? Why would I lean away? Coaching has taught me to lean in and lean in some more all day long. That's what I show. So when you're also in coaching too, you want to ask yourself, what is your slight edge? Because everybody here does the same behaviors, but what sets you apart? And I welcome you to ask your significant other or a close friend or a mom or a dad, ask them what they think your slight edge is, okay? And you might want to ask a couple of people. And Amanda came up to me, and it was funny because I asked John, he gave me some feedback. He goes, you're consistent. He's like, you're so consistent. It's ridiculous. He's like, you show up no matter what. He was like, and you'll go do whatever you need to go do. And he was like,
nod my head enough on Stacy's consistency. Sorry, go ahead.
But he was like, and I was like, okay, it's nice to hear, because sometimes you don't know and you don't feel like you are. That's the other thing too. You know, it's like, what do I have? I'm not so special. Wow, that tape's been playing for years, right? So the other thing is, Amanda, the universe responded back. Amanda was so sweet. She said, and here's what's coaching is. Get ready for this one. She goes, I just want you to know I'm in the boot camp, and you never gave up on me for 2 years. I said no to you. For 2 years, I said no to you. But you kept checking in. You kept sending me recipes. You remembered things. That how would you remember, you know? And she goes, you never gave up on me. And here I am now 2 years later in your group, now wanting to be a coach. 2 years. Guys, this is a crock pot business all day long. It's not an Instapot. So just have to keep reminding yourselves, and it teaches you to build your confidence. It teaches you to put your heels in the ground. It teaches you that it's okay that you're going to hear no, because it has nothing to do with you. Okay. All day long. I want you to remind yourselves of that. Okay. And I love what Tina said over here in the comments. Did you guys read this? She goes, this is great, because sometimes this can hurt your feelings. I love when people unfollow me, because it's like saving money. I love that. If you are advertising to the wrong people, you are wasting your time and money.
Stephanie or Stacy, sorry.
It's
I
okay.
was just going to tell you that was Demetria.
Oh, it was? Was that you? I love that.
Yeah, and I loved it. I wanted to copy it. So I clicked copy, and then I put
Oh, wait,
copy
now I'm
this.
reading it.
So, yeah, no, Demetria, woo, she says the most best things ever.
She can write a Beachbody book, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, so. Do it, Demetria, do it.
All right, so let's get into the meat of this call, because we don't want to take up too much of your Saturday, okay? The inviting process and following up, okay? How do you start the inviting process? How do you follow up with people? How do you do that? What does that look like, right? You have no clue what that looks like. For me personally, and then Demetria, we can piggyback each other, I personally think it starts with your posts and having conversations. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Do you want me to stay unmuted?
Yeah. So just,
yes,
we'll go back and forth each other.
I agree 100%. People have to see the social confirmation of what you're going to say to them behind the scenes. So everything doesn't have to be thrown up on social, but you do have to have consistent posting. They have to see that when you're reaching out to them, first of all, they have to see that there's something to look at, because what people do, you have to think about yourself and what you do. If somebody reaches out to you, or if you see somebody at the store and they're like, oh my gosh, this lipstick, blah, 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 here's my Facebook. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go to that person's Facebook. If you go to their Facebook and you see absolutely nothing that has anything to do with what they were talking about, it doesn't have to be directly like some stock post, we don't do that. But if you don't see anything that confirms it, you're going to be like, what is this chick talking about? Like you're going to look for that. Then you're going to also see, okay, that's great. She told me about this amazing lipstick or shampoo or whatever it was. But then you're going to say, well, what else is she about? Do I even like her? Do I want to talk to her? I don't know if I want her reaching out to me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to share on social. So those are your opportunities to have conversations with people. And they're not all Beachbody related. They better not be all Beachbody related, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. And I will say this too, don't share things a lot on your page. Don't share a recipe. Don't you want your Facebook page to look like it is all you. And I will say this too, when you build that up a little bit, the next step is to go live at least once a week on your Facebook page and just talk and share some insight. I do it all the time now. It's so fun. But I was the girl that was petrified, but that comes in time. Okay. You have to remember, everybody was scared at one point with something. Okay. It's not a big deal, but here's the cool part. We get to say to you, hey, I was there. You'll get there. Don't even sweat it. Like literally don't even sweat it. So you got to have those posts. So when we have this packet over here, this is what I love. You have to think of your Facebook page as your classroom. You are now a teacher. How fun is it to teach somebody a new thing? I love teaching clients new hair tricks. I love sharing content. I love sharing, like, dude, have you tried the steak at Grill Marks? It's the bomb. I talk about that steak all the time. You know what I mean? It's like John said this to me one time. He goes, is what you're selling going to harm somebody?
Right.
or share or whatever. And I said, no. He goes, then why are you so afraid? He's like, if I love freaking kava salads, I'm going to tell you I love kava salads. Whether or not you do it or not is up to you. I'm still going to tell you I love it and you should try it.
Yes.
That's kind of really it.
Yep.
In a very simplicity way. Do you agree?
Yes. And I have to insert something because
Yeah.
this is something I learned at Super Saturday this past Saturday, which, side note, if you have to make it a goal to get to these events, I'm not going to get into that. So she taught, one of the top leaders was there, and she talked about your business being transactional versus transformational. There's a whole bunch of things, and I can share this in if Stacy wants me to, I can share.
Yeah.
But basically, in a nutshell, what that means is that your mindset about how you're approaching these conversations when you're inviting or just building relationships, it has to be about them and and it has to come from the well of passion that you have in you about how these products and services are so legit and can change your life. It doesn't have to be that every single thing you've tried or it just has to be with passion. It has to be about them. So transactional would be, oh my gosh, now that there's a potential income attached to if this person is interested, then now I'm nervous because I don't want them to think I'm selling. And oh my gosh, let me make sure I word it correctly and make sure I say everything the right way because I do want them to say yes. I want them to buy a challenge pack. I want them to sign up in my group. I want them to be interested. That's transactional.
Yeah.
Transformational is just what Stacy said before I jumped in. This is awesome. I love it so much. I want everybody to know about it. And I don't give a rip if they do it or don't.
Yeah.
You have to find the way to keep your mindset you have to find a way to pretend that there is not an income attached to this.
Yeah.
Because if you can forget that there is, the income will come a lot faster. If you can just say, I'm doing this because it legit will help people who are just like me, who need it, you will not be afraid to invite because you'll be like, it doesn't matter if she's ready. You just have to do it. You just have to have conversations and just share what you would share if you weren't going to get something from it.
And the best part too on that, you guys, is every week, I'll tell you what, it's kind of funny this month. As much as this month is like the hype when everything is happening, I'm having a tough time this month. People are scared.
I always have a tough time in January.
Always. Oh my God. It's like
February when they rock and roll.
I have sent out so many links and you know what's happening? Well, I saw something on YouTube and I just don't believe that Shakeology is worth it. Let me tell you about that because that's going to happen. Ready? Here you go. Light a damn candle and connect to why you love it. Okay. And then you go on a piece of paper and you write down every objection you hear for the week and you transfer that into a post of why you love it because you're offering a solution. And you know what one of my favorite lines is, what I say all the time to people is, I don't know about that product. All I know is. That's all I say. And I say it I say it multiple times. But if you can connect and share your story, that's where you get them. That's what they need. That's what they need. They don't care about Shakeology. I think there's one thing that we talk about is Shailene Johnson. If she sold dog crap, I would probably buy it because.
And I would pay interest.
Yeah, because I love her and she's awesome and I trust her immensely. If Melanie Mitro tells me that you need to go buy this Rachel Hollis book, I'm probably just going to go get it.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? Because Melanie has built a credibility, trust, cuteness, and she's consistent too.
Yep.
You know, that's another one. So that's your main job as a coach. You're like, okay, if I need people, what do people need? They need someone who's consistent. They need someone who's going to be open, real, honest, raw, relatable. So you got to make a list before you start doing things of what does your audience need? What does your classroom need? Right? And then that's kind of where you spin off and you're a teacher and you start making that agenda. Something that I like to do each week too is I come up with one thing that I'm going to kind of like make my whole week the focus on. Okay. So for example, I sit down really quietly with my blank pieces of paper here and I'll write on the top my focus of the week. And maybe the focus of the week is just strictly about challenge groups and what they've done for me, along with mixtures of my family and stuff like that. You know, on Fridays, you guys are always going to see like a fashion photo of what I'm wearing. And I don't really talk about anything on Fridays because Facebook is down and low. You know what I'm saying? But if that gave me 50 likes, guess what I can do? I can go to 50 people and wish them a great weekend, and or 40 or 20 or people who I want to connect with and say, hey girl, just want to wish you a great weekend. How are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's that simple. So really with inviting, you guys, if you notice right now, all we're talking about is you got to start posting and you've got to start the conversations as simple as, hey girl, have a good weekend. How are you? Thanks for visiting my page. What's wrong with that? Oh, you're afraid you're going to sell them something, right? That's where it goes. Like Demetria said, you got to just get that out of your mind. So if you can remove the money part, because let's just be real, everything, we pay for everything. It's how our world works, right? But if you share from your heart, you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. You know? Yep. So Demetria, let's, like, if we were going to do an invite, what would that look like? Like, what would you say if you're in a conversation with somebody? We got about 9 minutes. So we're going to make it really fast. If we're going back and forth in a conversation because maybe you saw a post of mine and you're like, hey, Stace, oh my God, love the chicken dish you made. Can I have the recipe or whatever? And I give you the recipe and I give it to you. So then how are you going to get me to be invited to your group? How long do you take to invite me? Like, how does that look?
So if I put something out and somebody responds to it, like a recipe, for example, and, you know, I sent them, they're like, oh my gosh, I try to keep things open-ended so that I always have a reason to come back and converse with them. So I would say something like, you know, let me know, here's the recipe. My family loved it. Let me know when you make it, post about it and tag me. Not everybody's obviously going to do that, but I always say that when I send recipes, and specifically speaking about recipes, I always say, oh my gosh, this is the best. Tag me if you make it. Tag me when you make it, or message me when you make it. I want to know how it turns out. So that's one thing. So then that gives me an opportunity to then follow back up with them and say, and, you know, and you have to keep track of follow up with so-and-so. And then when it's time to follow up with them, maybe I wait a week, depending on if it's the holidays or if it's just a random summertime, and follow back up with them and just, hey girl, I don't know if you made that recipe yet. How did it turn out? Yep. And oh my gosh, I haven't made it yet, but we're going to. Oh, cool. And then I can find something else depending on what's going on. If it's the month of whatever, I'm trying to be specific because I know everybody on the call is like me and they want to know very specific things. So I'm trying to picture it in my head. And then I would say something like, you know, I have other, you know, that recipe has really helped me, you know, to not have to eat different food than my family because, you know, we're trying to eat clean. I'm trying to teach my kids and it's really helped us because it tastes so good. Do you eat clean? Or I would say something like, do you have other, have you ever tried other clean recipes? Are you guys trying to eat healthier or you just wanted to make this? If it's not a healthy recipe, then I would say, do you cook a lot for your family? Do you guys eat a lot on the go? You have to start asking questions that you would ask if this person was in person. Don't start making stuff up and don't start talking like you don't talk. If you don't talk like that, don't say it. Right. But if it's something, you have to pretend this person's in front of you and just ask them a question that you would ask them to keep a conversation, small talk going in person. Whatever you would ask them in person, just type it out or voice message them. I know some of you get all freaked out about the voice message. It's better to do the voice message, but if you don't,
I love it.
Just type it out. And I would say something like that. So what happens is you start having a back and forth. Then, because you're going to have different stages of people. And this used to confuse me a lot as a new coach. I'd be like, so when do you actually like invite them to the group? So it all depends on where your relationship is with them. So if this is a brand new person and you became friends with them because your kids and their kids go to school together, but you don't know them from Adam, you are going to find your common ground. You got kids in the same school, maybe you're busy moms, and then you're going to start making a point to connect with them on their page. You're going to love on them on their page. So it may take time to get to the point where you have that opportunity. So let's say this is a brand new person, you have no relationship, they wanted the recipe. So we did the whole recipe thing, we went back and forth, you're having like small talk.
Yeah.
And maybe they converse back, maybe they don't. What your job is to do is to go back in a few days later, maybe a week later, and just, hey, I thought of you. I found this other recipe. It doesn't have to be something you posted on your page, but hey, I thought of you. I know you like the other one. I found this one. This is a more cleaned up version one.
And that's value. You just gave them value.
You are adding value. So you will get to the point where you've added enough value with people, genuine value, where you're, just because it's purposeful and intentional does not make it not real. Doesn't make it, what's the word?
Authentic.
It does not mean it's not authentic. You're a businesswoman.
Yep.
Okay. So you are purposely adding value. You think the Gap, you go to the Gap and they're posting these things that they know you want to see. And you're like, I came over here to return something, but suddenly I'm at the Gap.
Yep.
They know you're going to do that because they're adding value to you. They're giving you things that you want. They don't feel bad about that. It's intentional, but they're going to give you good service when you go in. They're going to help you find 4 different sizes so you don't have to come out in your underwear to get the jeans. They're going to do everything that they're going to add value. So don't feel like you're not being authentic just because you're being intentional.
No.
So to answer the question, so then I'm doing like a full long invite, because a lot of times that if you're a newbie and you don't have a big market and you don't have a big warm market, that's what this is what's you're going to have to do. Yep. You're going to have to start building the trust and just letting people know that you're just there to add value. Hey, I thought about you. You go on their page. Oh my gosh, your kid's so cute. Whatever is real to you. Don't say stuff that you don't mean.
And you're gonna feel that in your body. You start getting anxiety, you know you're not touching the right thing. And that's the other cool thing too. You get to start listening to that person that you don't listen to normally, ladies and gentlemen. So isn't that cool too, right? The little whisper. All right. We might have to jump. We have 3 minutes.
I'm sorry. Yes.
That's okay. But what we can do is we can jump right back on and do like 15 extra minutes. Just click back onto that link. So when I get to a minute, I'll let you go. No. Okay. We'll just do like 15 more.
So the point is you find a way to add value, and there's lots of different tips and ways that you can add value, but you're just adding value, things that you would find valuable, until you get enough of a conversation to say, hey, I thought about you. This is how I do my invites. I thought about you. I'm organizing myself for my groups that are opening up this month, because my groups are always ongoing. I don't close them and start them again. I do one long group. I'm opening my group up for 10 people. And I know that you tried that recipe and we talked a little bit about clean eating. Not sure if this is something you're interested in, but I thought about you because I'd love to work on goals together. Do you have any fitness goals you're working on? Let me know either way, no worries. I always give people an out, but I always give them a reason to keep talking to me.
Yep.
So it's simple. It's not, oh my gosh, I have this group and it's amazing. That part of all the informational part comes when they actually say, yeah, tell me more, or whatever it is. You're not going to say it's this group and we're going to be working out 30 minutes a day and there's this amazing, connection you can have in the accountability. They don't need all that. You just, hey, I thought about you. I thought this would be really cool. Love your vibe. I want to work on my goals with people like you. I mean, I talk to people in my invites the way I would talk to them in person.
Yeah.
And you just have to practice so you can find your voice. Your voice is not Stacy's voice. Your voice is not my voice. Stacy and I both have very tragic background stories. You don't need a tragedy to be a successful coach. You just need to do you.
Yeah.
I think we should jump off and jump back on. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's do that real quick. Okay.